So the OnePlus 8T will cost you 550 quid, making it slightly cheaper than the original OnePlus 8, while also improving on the specs in a couple of different ways. In other words, yeah, it ain't exactly revolutionary, but the OnePlus 8T is all about value, and it offers that in spades. And frankly, spoiler alert, I found it was rather ruddy marvellous. Now, I've been using the OnePlus 8T for a couple of weeks now. I've had my SIM in there full time for the past week, been using it as my personal handset, and this is my in-depth OnePlus 8T review. And for more on the latest greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, yep, the OnePlus 8T doesn't exactly break any conventions with the design. This very much looks and feels like a OnePlus smartphone. I really like this Lunar Silver model though. It is smarter than a Brain Pi, and it is suitably tough too. For one, both the front and the back are constructed from Gorilla Glass 5. You've also got a pre-installed screen protector on there, and you get a condom case bundled in the box in case you're a bit paranoid about dropping the thing. But to be perfectly honest, in my time I've dropped more than my fair share of OnePlus smartphones, and usually the worst you end up with is a bit of a dent or a scratch in one corner or something. Seriously, these things are tougher than Jason Momoa wearing concrete Y-fronts. That frosted back end is supposed to be good at avoiding fingerprints, and it's certainly better than many glossy phones, although it still does get kind of smudgy after a bit of fondling. But it's nothing that a quick spit and polish can't immediately rectify. Unfortunately though, there's no dedicated IP rating for water resistance with the OnePlus 8T, but the good news is that it's not perturbed by the usual sudden unexpected British downpours. And now let's move on to the software experience, which is absolutely effing marvellous. What you get on here is fresh new Android 11 out of the box, which I've only also seen on Google's Pixel phones. And on top of that, you also get OnePlus's latest OxygenOS launcher, and the appearance has actually changed up quite a lot in the transition from 10. I really love the smarter aesthetics. They're definitely much nicer than a lot of rivals. And thankfully in OxygenOS 11 as well, OnePlus seems to have acknowledged the fact that its smartphones are absolutely freaking enormous. And so what we've got here is a lot of the functionality pushed down towards the bottom end of the display to make it easier to use with just the one hand. Of course, OnePlus could have just implemented a proper decent one-handed mode like most other rival manufacturers, but nope. Never mind, maybe next time. You do at least have a proper always on display bit of action with funky options like this Insight effort, which is supposed to guilt you into not actually using your phone too much by blacking out the colourful rainbow stripe every time the phone's unlocked. Between that and the Zen mode, OnePlus seems to be trying really hard to stop you from using the very thing that you've just dropped a whole load of cash on. And there's probably some sort of existential metaphor to this colour fades into black as we disconnect from reality, but frankly, to the lot of it. I somehow managed to overcome my guilt and continue to use the phone as normal. And the good news is that all of the features here on the OnePlus 8T worked exactly as I expected them to over the entire time I've been using the smartphone. The Wi-Fi connection remains strong and stable at all times. You've got full Wi-Fi 6 support there for a bit of future proofing as well. And you've got Google Pay on there as well. And again, this works an absolute dream. Just tap, pay, and off your piss. And the silver OnePlus 8T serves up 128 gigs of storage with a sexy bit of UFS 3.1, so it's nice and nippy. But as usual, there's not even a smidge of microSD memory card support if you do happen to run low. Now at first sight, that 6.55-inch AMOLED screen doesn't seem to have evolved much compared with the OnePlus 8. It's yet another Full HD Plus panel which churns out sharp, good looking images. And you've got HDR10 Plus, so you can stream a bit of supported Netflix content, and your eyes will be treated to some rather spiffing contrast and beautifully natural colours. You've got the same super low JNCD rating, that's just noticeable colour difference, as the OnePlus 8 series, along with the sRGB and the DP3 settings as well, which basically means super realistic, natural looking colours at all times. Those visuals are very true to life. Otherwise, if you prefer, you can just dive into the display settings and set everything to vivid and super vibrant and enjoy some really nice poppy in your face hues instead. One of the main differences versus the old OnePlus 8 is that flat finish, which is certainly good news for gamers. And while the original OnePlus 8 topped off at 90Hz, the 8T goes all the way up to 120Hz, just like the Pro model. I've got to admit, my knackered old peepers couldn't see the difference really between 90Hz and 120Hz on the OnePlus 8 compared with the OnePlus 8T. Everything still looks really spangly and shiny and smooth. All those transitions and animations and everything look proper lush. And no real complaints on the audio front from the OnePlus 8T either, besides the lack of a headphone jack, which is actually a complete pain in the arsehole region. But you get a nice stereo speaker set up here with a nice punchy, powerful bit of audio on top volume, and that top speaker does actually pull its weight. And while there is no headphone jack, at least the Bluetooth connection works just fine at all times. I connected to various speakers and the connection remained strong even when I wandered away with the phone, and it was a stutter-free audio experience with my headphones as well. When you're using headphones, you've got a small number of different settings you can play around with to make the sound a little bit warmer or more balanced. And that Dolby Atmos support can automatically tweak the audio on your behalf as well based on what you're actually up to, playing a game, watching a film, whatever. And for a 550 bob smartphone, the OnePlus 8T also packs a hell of a punch in the performance stakes. Qualcomm's mighty Snapdragon 865 chipset is ably backed by 8GB of RAM in this silver chap, and that means a flawless performance no matter what you're up to. Gamers in particular are well serviced by the OnePlus 8T. Of course, the likes of Call of Duty play with a perfectly consistent frame rate on those top graphical settings, while the 240Hz touch sampling means you'll be zipping around and blasting fools in the face with no delay. This time around, you've also got a dedicated vapor chamber to help deal with the heat buildup, and even with that Fanatic mode activated, I found I could keep on gaming indefinitely. That said, I did still find that the OnePlus 8T's top edge here still got a little bit toasty when you were gaming for a while, or even if you just had the screen on for an hour or so just doing a bit of web browsing or whatever. Nothing too troublesome though, and yeah, those OxygenOS gaming features are much the same here, but now you've got a proper menu that you can drag on screen to fiddle with the various settings, and you'll find more on that in my OxygenOS tips and tricks jobby, which is already live. OnePlus has also stuffed in Qualcomm's X55 modem, so you got full 5G support in the OnePlus 8T, which again is pretty impressive considering that £550 asking price. And the good news keeps on rolling with the battery life. What you get stuffed in here is a twin battery setup with a total capacity of 4,500 milliamps, and I definitely found the OnePlus 8T was an improvement over the older OnePlus 8. For the first couple of days I was a little bit worried. The OnePlus 8T seemed to drain rather fast even when it wasn't really in use, but then thankfully that all flipped reversed, and when I started using it as my full-time smartphone I found I would easily get a full day of use. It's perfectly common to get 7 full hours of screen on time with this bad boy, using it as a sat nav, playing with the camera, even a good bit of Skyping, which is usually an absolute battery drain. Didn't do too much damage to the OnePlus 8T's battery life. And then when you are fully drained, well, no worries, you've got Warp Charge 65 action now on board with the OnePlus 8T, which is a match for Oppo's recent fast charge tech as well. That means you'll be fully powered up again in about 40 minutes. And this thing can even power up tablets, laptops, pretty much anything, providing 45 watt power to non-OnePlus devices, which is really handy if you're buggering off on a trip, you want to use it for other stuff as well. Sadly, there's no wireless charging support on the OnePlus 8T, but you can't have everything. So let's finish up with a gander at the OnePlus 8T's camera tech, and for your everyday shooting requirements you've got a 48 megapixel Sony IMX586 sensor with optical image stabilization, and this shoots photos at 12 megapixels by default. The results are an improvement again over the OnePlus 8, which was still perfectly dependable. Colours are naturally captured, which is particularly enjoyable when you're shooting a vibrant subject. Even in bright conditions, the OnePlus 8T serves up a pleasingly blue sky and rarely oversaturates. Those 12 megapixel photos pack in a respectable amount of detail, but if you want to, you can bump up to the maximum 48 megapixel resolution with just a quick tap, like so, as long as the conditions are bright enough to handle it. If things get very contrasty with your scene, then yes, you do often lose detail in those darker areas, something that does plague OnePlus smartphones. Definitely doesn't cope as well as those Pixel phones or some other rivals. And likewise, some of the indoor shots that I took do look a little bit soft, but overall, the OnePlus 8T definitely peeled my banana. Night shots come out okay with the auto mode, but you'll definitely want to switch to the nightscape mode for better looking results. This can help to brighten things up a bit when required, though I did find that colours often look a lot warmer with this mode too, and that's an effect that again you won't get with the likes of the Pixel phones. That secondary lens is a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter. I did find that indoor shots looked a bit warmer than both in real life and photos taken with the primary lens, though the effect is thankfully minimised when using the camera outdoors, where you'll get a great looking pulled back snap the majority of the time. Sadly, there is no optical zoom on the OnePlus 8T though, so once you pinch in beyond the 2 or 3 times digital zoom, things start to get really rather pixelated. Definitely best avoided where possible. You've also got a 5 megapixel macro lens on there, hip hip hooray, if you like shooting things that are really bloody small. And there's also a 2 megapixel monochrome lens on there as well if you like shooting arty farty black and white stuff. Now, I rather liked the video chops of the OnePlus 8T as well, which, like the photo side of things, rarely lets you down. You can capture good looking 4K resolution video at either 30 or 60 frames per second, and this looks perfectly decent when you beam it to a TV. Colours are once again wonderfully natural, contrast doesn't make the phone shit its pants, and the stabilisation is decent even at that Ultra HD level. You can even switch between the primary and the wide angle lenses during filming, although the transition is a little bit, oh god, what just happened? Audio pickup is also perfectly fine as long as you're not stood in a windy field, at which point it becomes slightly tricky to work out what people are actually seeing because there is bugger all wind filter action here. A Samsung-style video portrait mode has also been added by OnePlus, and this works okay-ish. The edge detection is still a little bit shonky, but whatever. I would definitely happily use the OnePlus 8T for all of my random home movie shenanigans, as long as it doesn't get swallowed by a f***ing horse. And finally, last up, there's that 16 megapixel front-facing cam, and while the results are again a bit soft indoors, your everyday outdoor selfies will look nice and sharp with portrait mode smarts on demand. So in conclusion, yes, the OnePlus 8T doesn't do anything vastly different or stunning from the OnePlus 8, but it does offer fantastic value for money, and frankly, I really enjoyed using it as my full-time smartphone. If you want killer performance, a gorgeous 120Hz display, fantastic battery life and all of that good stuff, but you don't want to spunk $1,000 or more on a really expensive flagship smartphone, then the OnePlus 8T is definitely well worth your consideration. But that's what I think. Are you tempted by the OnePlus 8T? It'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do subscribe, ding that notifications bell, all that good stuff, and have yourselves a lovely rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.